Hey guys, I'm ProDoge, and on Wednesday, March 20th, I lost everything. There's a glitch that's been around since Horizon 4 where out of nowhere it'll delete everything you have, all your cars, credits, progress, everything, and there is no way to get back. And as a player with over 1,300 hours, nearly 1,400, that leaves a mark. I had some of the rarest accolades in the game that no one else really had, and now I need to completely start from scratch. But the worst part of all this is we submitted a ticket to, the Forza help thing on, what was it? That same day, we submitted a help ticket. And the worst part about this whole thing is they took a week to respond. Only yesterday, Wednesday, March 27th, did I actually manage to get it all back. Not all of it, though. My progress, all the accolades, everything I had is all gone. All they managed to recover was my credits, my cars, my clothing, emotes, that just inventory stuff. None of my accolades, none of those almost 1,400 hours worth of work. Only the cars were there to show it. But all the series I had completely 100%ed, that was all wiped. All of it gone. I started playing the game on December 2nd, 2021. And in almost 2.5 years, out of nowhere, without warning, without reason, without explanation, all of those 2 years were completely wiped away. That 1,300 hours I had equivalated to around 3.5 months that I am never getting back. But on Wednesday, I got everything back late at night, and I was able to do a little bit of the finale, the final hours of the European Automotive Series. And I ended up finally getting the 2 final cars. And I will continue. I would have gotten 100% in the series if it weren't for the giant setback. But now, with the race-off series, I will do my best to get 100% points. Every single point possible, even though none of my cars are tuned, even though I have pretty much nothing, no progress, no accolades, nothing. I think that I can still 100%. I'm going to push through, and I'm going to put in as much work as I can. By as much work as I can, I mean it's 3:02 in the morning, and last night I pulled an all-nighter trying to rebeat the game again. I had to finish up today, and there were a bunch of other things I had to finish in Forza, and I'm still not done with it, but I'm tired. It's getting late. I just want to make a video on some cars and go to bed. So that's what we are doing. And I have 6 videos to make. And this is just the first one. At 3 a.m. I'm gonna just do this one, go to bed, and save 5 others for tomorrow. Because we have 1 new car that was available last series. So I just ended up getting it, as I explained. Then there's a car pack that I got too. And then there's another festival playlist reward that I ended up getting today as well. That is actually part of the race-off series. But let's get into the final car from the European Automotive Series, which I would have made a video on Thursday if all my progress hadn't been reset. But thankfully, it is back, and we can finally make a proper review on it, although you can no longer get it. Although probably a lot of people already did get it, but I'm looking at it right now. I just want to jump in and I just want to forget this ever happened. Because this sucks ass, dude. Like, I have been a complete wreck for, like, the whole week this happened. Like, I had so much dedication put into it. I'm a literal dedicated, diehard Forza player. And having been stabbed in the back like that and then ignored, that leaves a mark. That leaves a giant gash. So I have been a total wreck. I've barely showered. I've barely slept. It's supposed to be spring break. But it's supposed to be a time for relaxation, but there is no relaxation anymore. And as I usually say, I think the only reason they actually responded was because I called them out on Twitter for it, and then they were finally like, oh shit, we could get sued. Yeah, let's do this before anything bad happens. But there will be a dedicated video on this whole thing coming soon. But first, let's just get into the Mercedes 500E, which was the final reward car for European Automotive. Hi, I'm PD, and welcome to ProDoge Plays. Well, I'm Ryan, and welcome to ProDoge Plays, where the cars are iconic and my depression is chronic. Anyways, we have a car in front of us right now, and this thing is boring on the outside, because inside it has, let's just do a little check, a 5-liter V8. It also weighs as much as a Dodge Challenger, aka a cruise ship. Also, my controller batteries are low, so there is no vibration. I just like the vibration, just feels funny. But I'm still working on getting everything back. As you can see, there's a lot of XP boards around it. I got all of those. Some roads that haven't been discovered. If you take a look at the accolades, you can tell all of it has been reset. Like, I had all the speed zone accolades, all the PR stunts, the racing accolades, all of those done. And now none of them are here. So that is just wonderful. But we have a car, and that is all that matters. Because everyone plays this game for the cars. And honestly, the physics are really, like, the main reason I play for. Is, like, you have a giant car list. First upgrade is going to be brakes. Why is the car still filthy? Okay, now it's clean. But, yeah, first upgrade, brakes. But this is the Mercedes 500E, and as you can tell from driving it, it actually sounds really good. I actually forget if this is the same engine that's in the Hammer and the Hammer wagon, because both those sound amazing. If we throw on an exhaust, I think you could tell. It is not the same V8. Lesson learned, it is not the same V8. So we could throw in that's an Audi V10 because it revs a little bit higher. A Racing the 7.2 liter V8, we all know what that sounds like. A 6.9 liter V12. I want to say that's from the CLK GTR, and then a 6 liter V12. That is a McLaren V12, I want to say. And honestly, we're going to go with a sleeper car on this one. So we're going to twin turbo stock engine. Do we have any customization? Yeah, we do not. This is a 1992. Honestly, I thought this would be like an 89. Maybe they did make them back in 89. Or maybe this is a facelifted version. We could do, yeah, let's go with slick race tires. We have 386 horsepower. We're not actually going to do any, I'm trying to think. Not going to do any spacing, because that would kind of give it away. Also, I just realized the tires, because they're completely flat, that'd give it away. So maybe we should do, like, the semi-slick race tires have kind of the same texture as the stock tires. So we'll run with those. Now, this thing weighs as much as a cruise ship, so we gotta do some weight reduction. Our brakes are fine. Let's go with the racing springs. We could race the car up and delete the camber later. And then we also need the engine, but let's do a little bit of chassis stiffening. And then... yeah, this thing sounds super nice. Like, you would, like, in a car like this, I would honestly expect, like, a 5-cylinder or something, not a big burly V8. Like, this is supposed to be a proper car, but honestly, this is definitely some European muscle. Also, we're not going to go with the anti-lag, because that will also give it away with the pops and bangs. You can still hear the turbos. And after all that action, we have 722 horsepower, and we weigh 3,100 pounds. I remember when the the Bentley Turbo R was released in Horizon 4, before I even made my channel. My throat's been weird all day and all night. But before I even made my channel, I made that into a sleeper car. But I think this one is works better because it's kind of like more of a cheaper car. Like it's a Mercedes, not a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or anything. I mean, honestly, I see Mercedes everywhere, not like even the older ones, like some newer ones, like even the little white A45s. Speaking of which, for some reason, all videos I see online, like pretty much all car crash videos I see online, it's always, and I'm not being racist here, it's always an Asian woman in a white Mercedes A45, just the base model. All of them have like the same wheels, but there was one that drove completely through a store. I think there was one that drove up a staircase. But I swear to God, all the bad drivers are Asian women Mercedes A45s, the little sedans. Speaking of sedans, we do have some colors for this. We want, actually that beige might work perfectly because we want the most unassuming color. Mercedes was on crack back in the 90s. Why did they think these two greens were a good idea? Like, silver is, like, proper. White is, like, basic. But beige is just boring. So we're not even going to paint it at all because it's just, like, sleeper as is. I wonder how it's actually going to drive because we're still rear-wheel drive. Yeah, this thing is definitely a European muscle car, German muscle. Mercedes is really good at making like muscle cars because like they do like exactly what muscle cars were. They put big engines in tiny cars, and then they get big power out of it too. Like the Ford Mustang was a tiny car, and they put a giant V8 in it. And then eventually they made it a little bit bigger and then threw a V6 in it. But still, like, it keeps the same, like, back then it was the same formula. Like, the Plymouth Belvedere, Dodge Dart, those were tiny cars, but I think, like, what, 6-7 liter engines? And Mercedes, even through the 90s and stuff, still made cars like that. Like, they would put 5-liter V8s in just boring sedans and wagons and hatchbacks and stuff. Even Audi today still makes them. Like, they have some V8 models for, like, the RS4, which is just an unassuming wagon, and then they throw a big engine in it. Like, just take the most unassuming, basic, small car, relatively small car, and then just throw a stupid big motor in it. That's what Mercedes did. And, like, this thing is cool, too. Like, you could have buddies in the back, and then you could just be late for in a Mercedes with your buddies. What would you be late for? Honestly, look, this kind of looks like a mafia car, so I guess catching someone who's late on their loan. So yeah, but honestly, I'm just amazed by this car because it sounds really good, and you would not expect that from this.